Aang, your smart lock says you had company, the 2:14. Door I did open. At 6:07 a.m., my phone informed me I'd let someone into our apartment at 2:14 a.m. Welcome home, the smart lock app purred, complete with a confetti animation. Under it, auto unlocked by J. Hale. The access log showed the door opening, closing 20 seconds later, and a second unlock at 2:16 manual from inside. I was in bed at 2:14. Juniper's foot had been hooked over my calf like an anchor. Our stupid oscillating fan was clicking on every 20th rotation, and somewhere outside a car alarm briefed the dawn and went back to sleep. There hadn't been a door, a knock, a whisper. Juniper sat up on her elbows, hair a dark river, eyes already litigating on my behalf. She runs a tenants clinic that convinces buildings to behave like homes. I manage other people's fires for a living and keep a key to too many locks. Between us, we have a tolerance for chaos and a low appetite for lies. Say it, she said. Honeysuckle, I said, and felt the room loosen back to ours. She scanned the log. If your phone unlocked the door at 2:14, your phone was at the door at 2:14, she said, not unkind. My phone was face down on the nightstand, disagreeing with Do Not Disturb, I said. Her eyebrows made the shape they make when she's about to ask a machine a question it doesn't want to answer. She checked the battery graph, flat from midnight to 6. Location history, home. She flipped to the lock, welcome home settings, and thumbed the little eye icon like a scab. When your device comes within 3 meters of our access point, she read, the door will auto-unlock for you. The door had recognized me when I hadn't been at it. Either the door was lying, or someone had worn my pocket. Two things happened then, which is how our life goes. The building thread lit up with a shaky hallway video, 2 figures at our door at 2:14, one tall, one in a coat the color of expensive apologies. And my phone pinged with an unknown number and a screenshot of the same, captioned, "Be kind and sit this one out tonight. Salon at Sky Lobby, 8 p.m. K." K is Kira, Bellwether's head of experiences, curator of Sky High salons, where donors call bribery a candle-lit conversation. Tonight's salon was about the Blue Key overlay, Verdant's newest attempt to reclassify 3 floors of hotel rooms as micro-wellness housing. The planning chair had the votes to beat it. A scandal could buy Verdant time. A scandal that made me look like I had company at 2:14 could buy them a week and the word reconsider. Juniper swung her legs off the bed and stood, one hand already in the drawer where we keep the legal pad for mornings like this. The lock thinks it saw your phone. Either it met a twin or someone introduced it to one, she said. She kissed my mouth once, precise. Coffee, Jono, then Kira. Jono is a sound guy who collects lies for sport and burns them for friends. He lives 2 blocks from a bakery and treats espresso like ceremony. By 6:38, he had our lock logs on one monitor and the hallway video on another, frozen on the 2 figures at our door. He fed the clip through something that made the shadows confess. The coat was a vivid blue when the pixels admitted it. The tall figure had my height and my gait, and none of the little inefficiencies that make me me. Mask, he said. Overlaid gate, good work, not great. He zoomed on the doorknob, reflection snitch. The knob showed 2 faces where there should have been one. The second belonged to a person holding up a phone at chest height. They brought a beacon, he said. He pulled a Crown access point out of a drawer and set it on the counter like an exhibit. Broadcasts your lock, SSID. Tells it J. Hale is here. Your door is eager to please. Crown again. Of course. Their gear sits behind the comfort layers at half the hotels we fight in public and behind too many smart amenities we resent in private. Can you print me a picture I can shove into a meeting? Juniper asked. 3, he said, circling the giveaway in red. The aperiodic flicker you get when a cheap panel lies about being a face. At 8:59, Kira was waiting in Sky Lobby like a thesis on hospitality. Blonde wood behind her, River pretending to be a mirror, a folder that smelled faintly like her perfume and also like lawyers. She gestured at the skyline. Bring anything. Juniper set Jono's frames on the bar. Your night manager needs a new hobby, she said. Kira took a breath that looked like a decision. I sent the text, she said. Not the visitors. Verdant booked the salon. I curate rooms. I do not curate home invasions. She slid a printout across to us, tower logs with too much blank where there should have been badge pings. At 1:59, the freight door opened with a master. At 2:02, the elevator went a 12 with no visible passenger. At 2:04, a lobby camera blinked like it had a migraine. At 2:14, your building's door says hello. I can't give you faces, but I can give you timing. What do they want from me? I asked. A self-recusal, she said. So your clinic can't testify cleanly and your partner has to pick between you and her memo. The salon will serve canapes and the word process, and the chair will be told how much easier her weekend will be if she kicks to August. Juniper rolled the cap off her pen and wrote no postponement in block letters like you write a vow you mean to keep. We brought honesty, she said. Bring your cameras. Kira's mouth tilted. You keep making me like my job more than I like my clients, she said. Give me an hour. We left the lipstick and the sky to the rich and went home to clean and make the bed a place we preferred to any ceiling with views. Juniper slid onto my lap the way people do who know the cost of proof. It wasn't obscene. It was an oath. She put her mouth at the hinge below my collarbone and reminded me which committee I belonged to. When she said say it, I did, because consent is our favorite ritual. Honeysuckle. By lunch, Kira delivered. A still from the freight cam, 2 blurry figures, the halo of a crown box in one hand like a cheap saint's miracle, and a staff memo in verdant letterhead that should have gone to trial all by itself. Blue key overlay, contingency script. If opposition is personal, ask chair to defer for dignity. Juniper texted the chair's aide with 3 attachments and 1 sentence. We decline dignity that costs the city a month. The aide replied, bring your hinge and your frames, no postponement. At 6, the chamber was a pressure cooker with name tags. Verdant's counsel tried to say pilot and vibrant and got as far as Roman 6 before the chair lifted her hand. My clinic's client sat in the back, the kind of row that makes Gavel would remember why it was cut. Sable from Murmur leaned against the wall like she'd invented that angle on sidewalks. Mr. Hale, the chair said, and I walked to the mic with my frames and my hinge, and the decision I'd made in a hallway at 10:23 a.m. to be boring and true. At 2:14, I said, my door welcomed me home while I was asleep. A crown beacon told it I'd arrived. A master key at the bellwether moved without a badge. A salon that wants to rename hotel rooms as micro-housing gets easier if I'm not at this mic. I am at this mic. We are not postponing because a vendor confuses proximity with consent. Juniper followed me like the second paragraph you hope is better than the first. She held up Verdant memo. No dignity clause is more important than a night of sleep, she said. Clinic first. Escrow now. Cameras off near care. And you can take your process and put it where the sky is shallow. Someone snorted in the back. It sounded like a janitor who knows which rooms lie. The vote went the way the city sometimes remembers how to go. Clinic first, escrow with teeth. Crowns welcome, geofence forbidden in any development agreement tied to housing, and a sweet line for the minutes. No staged intimacy, physical or digital, in pursuit of public approvals. After in the alley's cool, Sable exhaled smoke and a laugh like a concession. "You two keep making my billables work too hard," she said. "Bring escrow first," Juniper said. "Bring doors that open to clinics. Bring apologies that don't try to rename things they want to eat." Sable tipped an invisible hat she would never wear. "Until next time," she said, and meant it like a threat and a promise and a compliment. With her, it's the same word. We walked home with our fingers hooked in each other's back pockets because rumor loves a show and we like ours better than the city. The door said "Welcome home" when we let ourselves in. Juniper flipped the setting off and renamed the network something a vendor would hate. She took my phone and set a photo of our ceiling as the lock screen, a petty catechism. "This is where we sleep." At midnight, the fan clicked its 20th rotation and apologized in its tin voice. We lay on the rug and stared at the dark like it might blink first. "Do you forgive me for being a person people can wear?" I asked. She rolled onto me and boxed my face with her hands the way you hold a thought you intend to keep. "I forgive you for living in a city where doors tell jokes," she said. "I forgive you for being portable. I keep you because you're heavy in the right places." We slept well. In the morning, the lock app asked me if I wanted to re-enable automatic welcomes. I gave it the answer we reserve for petitions that speak too politely: no. Kiera sent over a clip with no faces and a caption that read simply, "Enough." The chair posted a sentence that felt like a new habit: "If you need process to wait for scandal, your process is bad." Crown updated a page about ethics in personalization, which is their way of saying, "We got caught." Verdant's PR firm tweeted a photo of a ribbon it did not get to cut. We taped the master key log inside our cupboard with the other ugly receipts we keep: air tags, printouts, QR menus, stills from doorbells that lied. Not trophies, maps. If your door says you came home at 2:14 when you slept through it, check the reflections. If your neighbor thread decides it knows what your body did, bring frames and a boring sentence. If someone asks you to skip a vote for dignity, write the thing down you'd rather say and say it anyway. And if, in the middle of all that, a person you love puts their mouth at the hinge under your collarbone and asks you to say the stupid word, do it. It isn't policy. It works better. It makes a door behave. It makes a room remember who owns it. It makes a morning have mercy on a day.